How companies use dark patterns to keep you subscribed. You know which services I don't have problems canceling? Ones I subscribe to via Apple's in-app payments. I get that it sucks to have Apple scrape a percentage of my payments for themselves, but if you're a company I don't fully trust and/or want to have total control over my subscription without a bunch of hassle, Apple's IAPs are the way to go. Mostly this is great with the big streaming services. Want Disney Plus or Paramount Plus for a month to watch a show? Sign up. Immediately cancel within Apple's App Store app. Simple. And if I have a complaint, Apple has generally favored me. For example, I recently signed up for a streaming service and their app simply wouldn't work. No idea why. Pinged Apple for a refund. Got it immediately. No hassle.
100% this. Going even further, I always get emails when yearly subscriptions are charging in a few days, and those emails even include how to cancel the subscription if I no longer wish to use it. I know people love to complain about the App Store, and there are some valid complaints. But companies being forced to use this mechanism for subscriptions is a huge benefit for consumers. Also, frankly, it's a huge benefit for the developers also. There are a number of apps that I would never subscribe to if I had to use their own custom solution, thanks to how many bad behaviors I have seen. But since it is part of Apple's system, I don't worry about subscribing. Edit to add. I really hope that if Apple does end up being forced to open this up and allow apps to do their own subscriptions, that for many consumers like me, as a developer, your choice is 70% of the money or none. I am not moving to your subscription service and will find alternatives.
I was stuck in a loop where my son's iCloud account had a subscription to Parallels, but it was on my credit card. He lost his password because he's 12. Even though I'm the parent on the account, it wouldn't let me cancel his purchase. But it also wouldn't let me reset his password for 6 weeks, and only a week into that period, a $100 Parallels subscription was going to go through. Fortunately, American Express reversed the charge because they're cool. But Apple didn't do anything, and I'm not sure how it can be that I can ever be locked out of preventing a charge to my credit card. I just wish we could find a way to give lower-level people the ability to deal with these absurd situations. It's not just Apple. You get treated like cattle everywhere.
Yep. It's a blatantly obvious dark pattern. It's your credit card. Your money. Yet Apple gives you no way to cancel, or even view, a child subscription online. Heck, they won't even tell you which child made the subscription.
Why do you allow your child to buy subscriptions without approval? Does family sharing with require purchase approval not work as described?
Every individual company has an incentive to be a bad actor when it comes to subscriptions, or dark patterns in general. Apple is a regulatory authority acting on this tragedy of the commons. Apple has created a situation where it has a near monopoly of force when it comes to apps in the Apple Store and is using this to the benefit of consumers. It's no wonder people prefer Apple's walled garden to libertarian Android. Being able to force apps to act in a specific ways makes the experience as a whole better. Given Apple's market share amongst people who can afford it, I would say the free market agrees that the Apple way is better.
Play Store is able to do the same if Google want to. It's not a problem. It's company's choice to sideload.
That's what I'm saying. One company took the stance that they want to be a regulator, while the other took the stance that they want minimal regulation. People prefer the regulated environment. Everyone wants the benefit of regulations. People can't do the thing I don't like, but many don't want to pay the cost of regulations. I can't do the things those other people don't like.
Apple does this because the alternative would be devastatingly bad press. I mean, why do they permit 3-day trials that start billing at $9.99 week after that? For an app that creates ringtones. How many phone apps in the world are worth $520 per year? And by the way, that 3-day trial. It's actually 2 days since you have to cancel at least 24 hours before the subscription renews. So it's really 33% less than they claim. If your child signed up for one of these subscriptions, Apple requires that subscription be cancelled from the device that made it, yet provides no obvious way to determine which device that was. Is that child away at school? Too bad. Forgot their phone at a friend's. Sorry about your luck. The whole thing is absurd. Letting a minor child control their own subscriptions, with no way for a parent, the actual credit card holder, to cancel it, unless they jump through a bunch of support hoops. Apple doesn't get a pass here. They're just smarter about it all. I say that as a huge Apple fan generally.
I heard someone say a while back that cancelled customers are just potential future customers. Anyone that's had an easy cancellation process will remember that flexibility if they ever need that service again. No idea why no large subscription service seems to understand that. Make me go through annoying hoops and you've lost me for good.
I mean, just thinking through it logically. It must be harder getting someone to sign back up for a service they quit, right? I mean, they tried it, and then they left it, because ostensibly they didn't think it provided value. How does that equation change?
No shit. As an anecdote, just yesterday, I fell for the premium meme on LinkedIn. I could just not stand the idea of not knowing who visited my profile. How weak of me. They literally charged me $20, half price, for a month of premium. I bet I will completely forget to cancel the sub next month, and I will end up paying $40 for a few more months, until I finally decide it's been enough. Also, fell for Spotify's 3 months free comeback meme. Oh god, I need rehab.
I typically add calendar reminders the moment I find myself signing up for something. Current reminders. Cancel Peacock by end date. Don't renew Tidal by Foo. Downgrade YouTube Premium on N.
Dear Lord, YouTube. Annoying ad plays Sally. We can make those ads go away, for just a little money. It's like paying the mob to make sure nothing happens to your store. By the mob.
Are any of those dark patterns? They all seem very transparent. Set a reminder to cancel the subscription.
If the company is forcing you to put reminders instead of just letting you cancel right away, that's a dark pattern. I do not know about LinkedIn, but I've seen plenty doing this, like Amazon.
I use Spectrum for home internet, and they ran a deal for a while where you could as like 15 streaming channels for $15. It wasn't a bad deal to get a few channels for live sports plus local news. Eventually, they started adding in more in fees for the TV package than the TV package itself costs. There's no way to cancel online, so I had to call in. I have to give my name and contact information to at least 3 people, and wait on hold in between each time I'm passed between different departments' levels of support. By the time I get the person on the phone who can actually cancel my TV service, I've been on the phone for 30 minutes. That's when she told me, "You still have 20 days left on this month's plan. If you cancel today, you'll lose access immediately, or you can call us back in 20 days to cancel and still enjoy the service." I'd never heard that one before. I'd assume I'd either 1, get a prorated refund if access is cut off today, or 2, get access for the time I've already paid for. At that point, it wasn't worth squabbling over $15 or 20 days of access, so I just canceled.
As much as I think a website like this is beautiful, I always get highly annoyed when browsing stuff like this. There's a giant scrollable area with no text at the beginning, so I thought I had to click the little Mac-like title bar window buttons. When text finally appears, I have to wait for the animations before I can read. If I decide to scroll fast, I lose text. My laptop fan keeps running all the time, which highly annoys me. People, please stop making websites like these. Keep the beautiful graphics, but please kill all animation. Make the site static.
Not that corporations need me to carry their water, but I believe the popular subscription whipping boy, the New York Times, might be unfairly characterized now. After yet another one of these subscriptions are evil articles, I decided I wasn't going to support such shenanigans anymore. Plus, I don't read the NYT like I used to, so I'd sit on hold for as long as it takes. But it looks like it's now a few button clicks, and a few, are you sure? Yes, all online. And it's advertised that you can do it online. Want to cancel by certified letter? Perhaps a phone call? No. How about online? I'm obviously paraphrasing. Now, I cannot confirm that the completion of the process works, as I decided to keep the subscription if I can cancel online. But I'll give the NYT the benefit of the doubt and assume the last button to click doesn't say, "Call customer retention at 800-555-1212 to complete the process." Edit. No, I do not live in K, nor has the NYT ever had reason to suspect that I do.
Daydream. Sign up for service using the name of a near-death relative. When you want to cancel, subscriber is deceased, is a pretty heavy trump card.
Signing up for subscriptions is rarely a good idea.
What's wrong with it? One-time payments don't make sense for a lot of transactions. Apartment rent is the most obvious example, but any other continuous service that is in use is hard to imagine without subscriptions.
You are right, of course, that there are many sorts of transactions that subscriptions make sense for. However, subscriptions, particularly relatively inexpensive subscriptions, are dangerous, and people get into trouble with them all the time. The current fashion in our industry is to make everything a subscription, even when it doesn't make sense for the product. A large portion of SaaS is exactly this. They do that because people don't tend to do well with them. And so it helps to maximize the company's revenue. Combine that with making it hard to cancel subscriptions, and there's a real reason to be cautious about them. Fixed recurring expenses are famously dangerous things, and should be avoided when at all possible.
Yeah, just look at BBB reviews for subscription companies.
We need more reg about this, it's ridiculous. It's so bad that I'm completely afraid to get out my credit card for whatever reason. Thanks for putting this together, but interfering with scrolling, although maybe less impactful, is probably more annoying.
Deceptive patterns is now the preferred term for what used to be called dark patterns. It's both more descriptive and avoids equating dark to bad. I've also heard hostile patterns as an umbrella term that covers deceptive patterns as well as careless UX problems, like a design that isn't accessible.